Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you all about what I call Papa's Preschool. Now, a little disclaimer here, my son, he's 3 now. We started this when he was about 2.5, and the reason I started it, well, there's quite a few reasons. So my son has always been really interested in learning. We've read to him before bed since he was born, really. And he really has been excited about learning. So I jumped on that. And then also my father watches him, which means that it's a lot easier for us to kind of talk about what we want Oliver to learn in a day. And my dad is also a military man, so he prefers a little bit of structure. And I think this really helped him have structure to the day, so they have a routine. So basically, I will spend about an hour every Sunday making lesson plans for the week. I typically just make one for every day of the actual work week, so just 5. And it does usually take me about an hour. If I really take my time with it, it could take longer. If you don't want to take your time with it, it could definitely take shorter as well. That's such a beautiful thing about kids. They're not really going to judge you the same as, an art critic would or anything like that. I've really enjoyed making these, and I think you'll have fun with them too if you give them a try. So without any further ado, let's just get into the video. So today I'm going to show you the projects that I made for the letter R. I started here with a blank sheet. I always write the letter capital and lowercase up in the top left corner, and then I make some lines for him to practice writing his letters on. Next, I'll use the top space to draw the letter. Now here, obviously I did this really messily. I didn't really plan it out well beforehand, so please excuse the sloppiness. You could spend as much or as little time on this as you wanted, like I said. And then I just used the space on the right and left hand side to draw a couple things that start with the letter R. For writing the letters on the lines, I break down each letter by the brush stroke, I guess is what you would call it. And that's it for the first page. So then I flip that over, and on the back, I do a type of seek and find. So I'll write multiple letters on multiple objects and then have Oliver try to find the letter for the week. And this week I chose to do some roses. For the next page this week, I wanted to do a robot, so I just start with a blank piece of paper. Again, in that top left corner, I write the letter R, capital and lowercase, and then I've written is for robot. For this page, I decided to draw the outline of the shapes, and then I'm going to cut the shapes out of different colors of paper and then let Oliver figure out what shapes go where. I think he has a really fun time with that, so I thought that would be fun for this robot. Now cutting out these pieces is really straightforward. You just trace the shape onto a piece of paper and cut them out. It's really quick. A lot of these projects that I make for Oliver honestly are very quick and very easy, and they're kind of fun and therapeutic to do as well. And to finish this off, I'm just going to add some lines onto the white shapes just to show a little bit of difference from the blue. And really, that's it. That's another one done. For the next page, we're going to be making a rabbit out of the letter R. To start, again, you just cut the letter R out of a piece of brown paper. This time I actually traced it out a little bit, but it's still not that great. Once that's done, you'll want to cut some ears out of that same brown paper. And again, add the letter R up to the top of the page, and this time I've written is for rabbit going down the side of the page. Next, I picked out a googly eye, which actually ended up getting lost in the shuffle on the way to my dad's house, but it looked cute here. It looks cute without it. Then a fluffy tail, and I thought maybe a fluffy nose, but you'll see me second guess that here, so I went ahead and just cut a little nose out of some pink paper. Then use that same pink paper to cut out some shapes to go on the inside of the ears as well. And that is a finished rabbit. The next page is going to be all about rainbows. This is a fun one. So I'm going to go ahead and start, as always, with the letter up in the top left corner. And then I'll write is for rainbow. Next, I found a stencil that had a rectangle that I liked, and I'm going to use that to cut out a rectangle of every color in the rainbow. Once that's done, you can use that same stencil to go ahead and trace out rectangles onto the page. To help with sight words, I went ahead and wrote the colors onto the rectangles as well. And then I thought it would be fun to go ahead and draw a little rainbow onto the page and see how my son did with coloring in, because typically he's not amazing yet at coloring between the lines. Who is? But I was really impressed with how well he did on this one. Another fun thing you can do if you have rainbow colored paper is actually make a chain that is in the order of the colors of the rainbow. I think that kids would have a really fun time making this. And that's it for rainbows. The last page that I'm going to make today is going to be a rocket out of the letter R. So go ahead and start with cutting out a letter R out of whatever color you'd like the rocket to be. Next, you can cut out a large triangle to go on top of the R. Then cut some smaller triangles out of another color. And a tip here is you can actually cut out a rectangle and then cut a diagonal line across that rectangle, and you'll get two triangles that are symmetric. And those will go down on the bottom on the outside of the legs of the R. Then you can honestly just cut out whatever shapes you might want to add to the rocket. I cut out some circles to look like windows. Add your letter R up to the top left corner again, as always, and I wrote R's for rocket down on the bottom. Here, I literally spent so much time testing out markers because I really wanted to add a starry effect, and this paint marker that I had was just not cutting it. I was so upset. But don't worry, I found a gold one and it ended up looking better than the white one would have, in my opinion. So I just added some stars on the page just for some added detail. And that's it. That's the last page. I also thought it would be cool to show you all of the stuff that we have done so far since October. So now I'm just gonna flip through all of the pages that I've made, and you'll definitely notice some of these I spent a lot more time on and some of these I didn't spend quite as much time on. And I do this every week, honestly, no matter how much or how little time I have, I make time to do something. And Oliver has really, really loved it. I think it's done, honestly, I think it's done wonders for him. The other really cool thing about this is I have all these really sweet keepsakes that honestly I'm probably going to embarrass Oliver with when he's older, but I can't say how special these are to me, to see his little handprints and his little scribbles and his little doodles and the way he colors. It's just perfect. And here's my personal favorite. All of his jack-o'-lanterns he made like just the funniest faces on, and I feel like that was just so 2020, and I laugh so hard every time I see it. He also really loved these ladybugs. I think just because it was something he could take around with him and play with, he really enjoyed it. Also, word to the wise, be careful what glue you use with what ink, because Olaf looks a little sad. And then at the beginning, I started with a dinosaur for every letter as well, but I found that Oliver didn't really enjoy this so much. He just kind of scribbled on the pages. My dad didn't really say that he loved them, so I've stopped doing them for now. If he decides that he likes them again, I'll certainly do them. But I was thinking about doing Pokemon now because honestly, my son is obsessed with Pokemon. But these were also really simple to make. I just looked up an image of a dinosaur that started with a letter on Google and looked up some information of them, and that was it. And that's everything I have today for you. That is my Papa's preschool work. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you end up making any preschool work for your children, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And also, if you have recommendations, if you make some already, let me know. I would love to hear about it. Thanks, everyone.